Hello and welcome to the Disney Patrol podcast. I am one of your two co-hosts, Keegan Turner. Across from me, as always, is Hayden Lyle. Today we're going to be talking about all the rides and attractions we missed at Disney World. So without further ado, Hayden Lyle's going to start it off for us.
This one could get emotional. A lot of these, a lot of them were my favorite rides, and I'm emotionally attached to a few of them. So
Yes.
could shed a tear here, but so my first one I have is Lights, Motors, Action. Ran from 2005 to 2016, and for those of you that didn't get to see it, it was just kind of like an action stunt show that they had at Hollywood Studios that's now being replaced by Star Wars Land. But
Which I think is reasonable, but
I mean, I'm excited to see what they do with
digress.
that. But Lights, Motors, Action was without a doubt the thing I was most excited to see in all of Walt Disney World. I mean, I'm a big car guy. I like
Yes.
Disney World and I like cars. Those are my two things.
That's why I know this is on the top of your list.
And that blended those two together seamlessly. I mean, I know it's still in Disneyland Paris, so maybe I'll make my way out there one day to see that again. But I don't know. I just loved kind of seeing the behind the scenes of how they did stunts and action movies. I loved listening to the cars. I loved seeing the cars speed around and do all kinds of cool, drifts and tricks and all that stuff. And at 2005, I was, in the prime of my childhood, so seeing that as such a young kid was super cool.
That's some mind-blowing stuff to see.
Even
at that
being
time.
an adult, I still loved it, and
Yeah.
I was super sad to see it go. But I understand progress and change and all that, so it is what it is.
All right. I'm gonna start off with probably everyone's number one is the Great Movie Ride.
Oof.
I mean, what is there to be said that hasn't been said about this ride? Everyone has talked about this.
I mean,
It's just such an iconic ride, and
a
it's
classic.
being replaced by something that it just shouldn't even happen.
the Great Movie Ride was. I mean, you think of Hollywood Studios. Well, most people think of Hollywood Studios. Think Great Movie Ride. You think their great Chinese theater. I mean, it's right there when you walk in. Always a crazy line. And it was just it was super cool. I mean, most people love the movies, especially old movies, like the way they set it
Mhm.
up. It was super cool the way the conductor interacted with you. And
Yeah, I
everything.
loved how they someone would join your thing and do all the
And
whole.
it was always a little different.
Yep, yeah. You could get the gangster or the cowboy. You change it up.
It was just a cool, really cool thing.
I just don't think it should be replaced by what it is. Maybe I'd be more down for it if it was something like very cool and exciting.
Yeah, I mean, out of all the rides in this list, I think it has the least exciting replacement coming.
Oh yeah, by far. It's just such a. It's just. I don't even want
It's
to.
very underwhelming.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not done yet, and we haven't seen really any shots of what it's going to look like. So, we can't completely trounce it yet. But
I agree.
I'm not that excited.
Give it a chance.
Yeah, I'm not too excited about it. So for my next one, kind of on the same lines as Lights, Motors, Action, was the Backlot Tour. Backlot Tour ran from '89, so opening day to 2014, and that was the ride at Hollywood Studios when it opened. That was the one everyone wanted the ride. For those of you that don't know, it's just kind of like a behind-the-scenes look at the movies and props and how they kind of made certain scenes in certain movies and stuff like that. Which again, I love behind-the-scenes stuff, so that was right down my alley. And they also had this in the beginning of the ride before we even got on, they had like this opening scene from the movie Pearl Harbor. For those of you that have seen that, and it was kind of a recreation of one of the big water tanks they had, but. Me and my dad and my brother got to be part of the show, and I just have very fond memories of us three being in the show. It was one of my favorite memories from all my Disney trips, so that was really cool to have there, and I'm glad I got to do that, and it'd be nice to do that again. But of course, they got rid of it, so we can't. But
I'm gonna probably say a very unpopular opinion here, but I think Universal's tour is better.
I don't think that'll be.
I've never been on Universal's, but they have the same elements as Disney's does. They have like the water, they have the fire, they have the same things, but then they have a whole actual you're going through sets as well.
They have the same. I mean, Disney's you went through Catastrophe Canyon. They had the whole water set there. You got to see how they did what they were doing.
Right. I agree. But then you're going through movie sets. You're going through American Psycho. You're going through The Grinch and a bunch of others. You're going through, which is cool.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with that. I mean, I think they have a lot more going there, but Disney's was there first.
First, yeah. Which I think that's
original.
probably part of the issue is why it was so I think it was kind of just thrown together almost.
Well, it was there when it opened. It was a big planned attraction.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole Hollywood Studios when it first opened was supposed to be about the movies.
Right.
It was
MGM
and Hollywood Studios.
Yep, for sure.
supposed to be all about how they made movies and stuff, and that was right along the lines of that.
Yes.
You had set pieces from Herbie Fully Loaded, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Pirates of the Caribbean,
Yep.
Chronicles of Narnia when that was coming out.
Which Chronicles of Narnia in Disney World has the weirdest situation. It's like, I don't know if you even know this, but at one point they had like walk around characters for Narnia.
I never saw characters from Narnia in Disney.
Neither did I. I've never seen them, but they were there.
I mean, they had.
I don't. Let's check. Let me fact check when Narnia even came out because I'm not even. I don't
for a
even
little
remember.
while they had like a whole Narnia, like a little prop section where you could see props from the movie.
Came out in 2005.
Yeah, so you could see how they made the props and stuff like that, which I thought was kind of cool. I mean, I like that. It was right at the exit of the Great Movie Ride.
And what's it now?
It was Star Wars.
Yeah,
last
that's what I
time
meant.
was there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gone now. The Great Movie Ride's gone, and that whole section's
Yes.
gone. But
Which is
the last time I rode it, I think it was Star Wars.
so they had Jadis I've never even seen Narnia, but as a character they had Jadis the White Witch. That's who was their walk
She was
around
like the villain
character.
in the first movie. I remember that.
So weird.
Yeah,
Weird.
That's probably a rare meet and greet.
It
I've
was
never
actually the rarest.
Yeah, I've never
the
seen her
rarest.
in all my time, so that's interesting.
Yeah. And it's just odd to me. She was at most recently she was at Disneyland Paris actually. That was her last appearance. But before that she was in Disney World.
Really?
Odd, very weird. Narnia and Disney World. It's like
Yeah.
orange juice and toothpaste to me.
I mean, Netflix is going to start a series on Narnia. I'm neither here nor there about
No,
that, but
no.
we'll have to wait and see.
So did you say that was there from 1989 to 2014? Did you say that?
2014, yep.
Okay. So my next one on my list is Captain EO, which was there from 86 to 96 originally,
Right.
then came back for 2010 to 2015, a
Right.
little 5-year run.
Right.
Between the two, if you guys don't know, Honey, I Shrunk the Audience was in there, which is definitely a fat stinker.
Yeah, I definitely prefer. I mean, Captain EO is probably actually 100% my favorite show has been in that theater out of all the shows. I mean, between that, Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, and the Disney shorts that they have running now, Captain EO is
Captain EO is
my
by far
favorite.
the best.
I mean, who? Regardless how you feel about Michael Jackson, I know he's had his whole scandal recently.
Yeah,
but,
that's a controversial subject now.
I mean-
Okay, well, let's go back to 86.
right. You're in '86. Michael Jackson's at the top of his game. Star Wars is just coming out. So George Lucas is at the
Yeah,
top
so
of
George
his game.
Lucas is already like a king of movies
Of
at this
cinema,
time.
yeah, and-
yes,
and he
and
had-
this was which is cool that he did something for Disney World before Disney owned him, which is
Right.
pretty interesting to
And
me.
you have the two coming together, in creating this film. It was just, I mean, back then it must have been unbelievable to see. I'm
So
sure.
in 1986, Michael Jackson was doing a "We Are the World." That was 1986 Michael Jackson.
Okay.
That's like huge.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. I mean, there was every star in the world was involved with the We Are the
Yeah.
World project. But
That's wild. So go back to you, I guess. What's your
well,
next
still
one?
on Captain EO. I mean, I thought it was cool because you had the beginning where they showed you how they made it, which is really cool to see.
That whole intro scene to me was very underwhelming.
You just didn't like that you didn't get to sit.
Right.
Which,
Well,
whatever.
that and the TVs were just really small and weird.
Yeah, but there was like 50 of them.
Yeah, but I think that I would have rather either they showed it after the show or in a different way before.
Ugh.
I think would have
It's a
been
weak
more
complaint.
benefit.
But I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, I liked the songs that came out of
Okay,
that.
well, the soundtrack is by far
Yeah.
like the best part about the whole situation.
You had Another Part of Me, and We're Here to Change the World.
Yes.
Two pretty good Michael
You're Here to
Jackson
Change the
songs.
World's
I
an
think.
awesome song.
I mean, today's standards, obviously, the animation is a little lackluster, but
For
what it
them,
is, I think it's cool. And I just thought it was really cool to see kind of Michael Jackson in a role like that. So,
yeah, well, it's basically MJ meets Star Wars.
yeah.
Which is
he's for lack of a better character to cast him as, he was kind of like a Han Solo.
Yes.
But yeah, it was just cool to see, and for those of you who get to see that, it's on YouTube if you want to check it out.
Yes.
But hopefully they bring it back because they did bring it back once before. So
It's a possibility.
yeah, maybe they bring it back.
That'd be cool.
All right. So my next one, I know he's gonna laugh at me for this one, but Tarzan Rocks.
What a absolute joke.
I mean, in Animal Kingdom. So for those of you that don't know, this ran from '99 to '06, kind of when Tarzan just came out, and it's where the Nemo show is now in Animal Kingdom. But if you ask me, this is a much better show. You can say what you want about it, but you can't argue that Tarzan definitely has a better soundtrack than
Yeah,
Nemo.
but you can argue that it was probably the worst show I've ever seen.
I mean, you had guys flying around on roller skates, which was cool, doing all kinds of acrobatics.
Dude, that was probably cool in 92. Even 99, rollerblading was past its due
It
date.
doesn't matter about rollerblading. It's just cool to see the acrobatics. I mean, they're doing flips and stuff right in
I
front
guess,
of
but
me. As a kid, that was
the cool
awesome.
acrobatics were like the whole like them hanging from ropes and spinning.
That's all
that
cool,
should
too.
be your argument.
It was
not
all cool.
rollerblading.
It was all cool.
Can't agree. Cannot get down.
I mean, I'm just not a fan of the Nemo show.
Okay, neither am I, but I'd rather
this.
watch Nemo 10 times than see Tarzan Rocks.
I'm very open about this. I mean, I'm not a fan of the Nemo show. I think it's probably because this is the prime of my childhood when this show is around, and I
as a movie and just in general as a character, I like Tarzan much better than I like the whole Finding Nemo situation. I can't stand the show. I want to go on record and say that I like Tarzan much more. I don't like the Nemo show either, but I really don't like Tarzan Rocks.
I thought it was cool. I'd like them to bring it back if they do like a live action Tarzan or something, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Yes.
With that being said, as much as we'd like it, to be free, running a podcast is not free. For those of you watching on YouTube, all this equipment you see here costs money, a lot of money. Hosting a podcast costs money. Distributing a podcast costs money. We definitely couldn't do it without you guys listening, but we also couldn't do it without some sponsors to help us out. So with that being said, we're going to cut to an ad from one of our sponsors.
This podcast is brought to you by Walt & Co. Walt & Co. creates park-inspired apparel for Disnerds big and small. Their apparel is all hand-printed on only the highest quality of garments, and their customer service is second to none.
As a thank you to our listeners, Walt & Co. would like to offer you 15% off your first order. Just use the code PATROL15 at checkout, and they'll take care of the rest. Walt & Co. Bring the magic right to your front door.
Alrighty, we are back, and a big thank you to our sponsors, and jump right back into our rides we want back. So I'm taking the lead here with Ellen's Energy Adventure.
Oh,
this ran from 96 to 2017.
Getting teary-eyed.
I know this is one of your favorites. Definitely one of mine as well. This was a huge ride. I mean, it held 500 people.
Yeah, the mobiles were gigantic. I always remembered walking in and looking around and being like, "Oh my god!"
That was Disney World. I think to this day is still Disney World's biggest capacity ride.
Yep. What was it, like 1,000 people an hour or something like that?
No, it was like almost 2,500 people an hour.
That's crazy. That's absurd.
Absolutely nuts.
Yeah, gigantic mobiles. I mean, you could fit 1 million people on there. There was never a wait.
Nope. And the ride was so long.
Yeah, it was a great way to get out of the sun for an hour.
Yeah.
It was entertaining. I mean, who doesn't love Ellen? Bill Nye. You had Jamie Lee Curtis or Stupid Judy. I mean, it was good. I mean, you learned a little something. There was dinosaurs. Everyone loves dinosaurs.
The animatronics were really cool. The show was cool as well. They do like a big screen over you too, right?
Well, so in the beginning, it's just a big screen, and then you go into a 360 theater.
Yes, yeah.
And then you go through the animatronic part, and then back into a 360 theater.
I haven't been on. Last time I rode it probably was like 2010.
Yeah, so there's a lot. I mean, there's just a lot going for it. I mean, granted, it was old. I mean, it's there since '96.
Yeah.
So, what is that? 23 years old now. So I get why they had to get rid of it. But unlike the Great Movie Ride, I am kind of excited for the replacement of this one.
Yes, I totally agree with that.
It does look really cool what they're doing with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. I think Guardians of the Galaxy is a great fit. I think it's pretty cool what they did at Disneyland's Tower of Terror, which is, I don't even know what they're calling the whole...
I'm not a fan of that.
You're not?
Oh, no.
I thought that was pretty cool.
You don't mess with the classic.
But it's not like they necessarily changed. I mean, they did, but...
They didn't, but...
They did and they didn't.
Tower of Terror is based on a classic Disney show.
Yes. Well, is it...
Yes, it is.
Twilight Zone?
Yeah.
That's a classic Disney show?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
You would put that in a book of classic?
It's an old Disney show, therefore it's a classic.
Okay.
And you just don't mess with classics.
I mean, I can agree, but I think what they updated it, which probably is a good argument to say needed it.
I mean, I could say this about every Disney project that's happened in the past 20 years, but Walt Disney World in particular is built on 44 square acres. It's bigger. It's bigger than our home state of Rhode Island. Walt Disney World. They've got the room to expand. Why not?
True.
We could do a whole other podcast on that.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get into that, but anyway, I'm excited to see what they do with the Guardians of the Galaxy ride there that they're replacing.
Yeah, that's probably the only. Maybe the only thing that I'm happy about that's being replaced.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna miss, because Ellen, like what we like to do at Epcot, my family was we'd be waiting in between fast passes. We couldn't really have anything else to do besides do the World Showcase, but we like to get everything done before we go to the World Showcase. So we would just hang out in Ellen's Energy Adventure for an hour, get out of the sun, be entertained.
Dad, Captain EO never had to wait.
Never had to wait. So you get to do those two, you're not wasting time. You know, you're getting
Maybe
something done.
maybe that's why they're on the list of something we want to bring back. Is because they never had to wait.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. It was a good way to be entertained while you're waiting between fast passes or something. So, you know, they'll be missed
For sure.
for sure. All right, so my next one is gonna be Jensen's hat in Hollywood Studios.
I don't get this. I never will understand why they did this.
For those of you that don't know who Jensen is, it was Mickey Mouse in Fantasia. His name was Jensen, which is just Disney spelled backwards. But his hat was the centerpiece for Hollywood Studios from 2001 to 2015. It was the big blue hat, and I don't understand why they got rid of it because that was Hollywood Studios' centerpiece. And all the parks have a centerpiece. You know, Magic Kingdom and Cinderella Castle. You have the Tree of Life for Animal Kingdom, and you have Spaceship Earth for Epcot. And I don't know why they would get rid of a centerpiece for their park. It doesn't make sense to me. And it was really cool to see. I mean, everyone took pictures in front of it. It looked really cool at night. I mean, it didn't do anything. There wasn't a ride inside of it. But it was cool. You know,
It was such. It was such a. So this is where it's coming up. In some forums why they did this. It says, regardless of your personal reaction, the decision to remove the hat allows Hollywood Studios to return to its original intent and design, as well as to restore the park to its more Imagineered vision. Are you kidding?
And that can make sense.
Oh my god!
I'd be all for that explanation, except they just stuck a big ugly stage right where the hat used to be. So I don't know if I believe that.
What?
But I mean, if they just removed that and had the Chinese theater there, I'd be for that. Chinese theater's cool. Great movie ride was cool, but they had
everything. Hollywood Studios is becoming the illest turd.
Hollywood Studios is one step forward, two steps back. I feel like
I just don't get either of their decisions there. I don't get it.
Toy Story Land is really cool, and from what I've heard, Star Wars Land is really cool. I'm excited to see those, and it looks like they're taking steps toward in the right direction.
Yeah, they're finally figuring it out.
But past 5 years, I mean, it hasn't been great. I have had friends going, and they say like, oh, what should we do in Hollywood Studios? And I say, don't.
Yeah, right.
If you're on a short vacation, skip it all together. You're not missing much. There's not a lot to do there.
So yeah, it was added in the 100 years of Magic celebration at Walt Disney World, which is, it
was a good addition. It was cool.
It was cool. Everyone took pictures at it.
Yeah,
but why put it in to take it out?
I mean, they do that all the time. But for something so grand
something
like that,
so big and so iconic, why?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't get it. I don't understand.
And why put a big ugly stage in
and
place?
their reasoning is because it's more in line with the Imagineers.
Is that Disney who said that, or someone, some rando on a forum?
WDW News, shout out.
I mean, is that them saying that, or did they say
they're quoting Eisner and all the COOs?
Well, then if the CEO is saying it, then
yeah.
All right.
I don't get it.
I guess that makes sense, but why'd you put a big ugly stage?
All right. So on to my last one before our honorable mentions is the Maelstrom. I always pronounce it wrong.
How can this be a favorite if you can't pronounce it? It's Maelstrom.
That's the white male in me. I don't know how to say anything.
Maelstrom.
Okay. So this ran from 88 to 2014. Am I happy about what replaced it? No.
I like the Frozen ride.
I haven't ridden it. I've seen videos. I usually don't watch videos,
Honestly,
the
Frozen
ride.
I
watched it because I was so pissed off.
It is literally the Maelstrom, Frozen characters, and way better animatronics.
Yeah, but the animatronic. I love the clunky, stupid trolls.
They're still a troll. He's just a nice troll.
Yeah, but he's not better than the other trolls.
Okay, that's up for debate. There's the little rock trolls. There's trolls everywhere, actually.
It's not. I just don't think. I mean, it's not better than their trolls, the OG trolls.
It's still Norse themed. It just has way better animatronics, better CGI.
I totally get the whole. I can't even. This is just me being nitpicky.
The Quo is better.
Everything about it is.
People actually ride it.
Let's be honest. Everything about it technically is better.
You just like it for the nostalgia.
Yes, I like it because that was my favorite. That was one of my favorite things to do in Epcot.
I understand that.
I even liked the little after show. I liked all the cool paintings they had and all the stuff going into it.
I think 90% of the rides you could say they're only on this list because of nostalgia, because they've all been replaced by better things.
Yeah. Well, hey, great movie ride. That trumps you there.
That might be the only one, but I think a lot of it's nostalgia, and I get that you have your memories on there and everything, but You haven't rode the Frozen ride yet.
No, and I totally get it. I totally do get it. I can't say it doesn't make sense. I mean, logically, money-wise, it makes sense.
Yeah,
Every little kid and their
loves
parents
Frozen,
is getting
especially
on
when
that
it
ride.
came out. You know, everyone's about Frozen.
Their parents love Frozen too. Everyone loves Frozen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big Frozen fan.
It's okay.
No, it's good. It's good. It's definitely a good ride, and I think it was an upgrade. Again, I understand.
Okay, it was totally an upgrade.
All right.
I'm just being.
Well, at least we're on the same.
I'm just being a nitpicky person right now.
All right, and on to my last one. This was a very short-lived ride in Magic Kingdom, but Legend of the Lion King. It's in the same theater that PhilharMagic is in now.
Right.
It ran from '94 to '02, and basically they just took the Lion King movie, condensed it into 20 minutes or whatever it was. But it had animatronics. It had all the music from the original movie.
That was really cool.
It was super cool. I mean, anything with animatronics, in my opinion, is just really cool. It shows effort.
They put a lot. What it seems like they put a lot of effort into that show.
Animatronics. There was fake fire. They had a
Yeah.
huge skull from the elephant graveyard that they brought up. I mean, there was a few human actors. One of them played Rafiki.
Yeah.
Again, the soundtrack from Lion King is great. They had that all going on, so it was just cool. And that's when Lion King came out. And
I think that's a good time and place thing, but I don't think it'd work now.
I think it worked now.
Maybe now the new one came out, but I don't think from '02 to now would work all that great.
In that gap, no, probably not. I mean,
don't think
they
it would
definitely had to update that.
I think Phil. I mean, I love PhilharMagic, so mine's biased.
That one is his days are numbered for sure.
Oh yeah,
Last
it's on its
trip
way out.
I went there, I rode it twice, and I think I was one of 12 people.
Oh
in the
my
theater.
god, no one rides it. You said the smell things weren't working.
Right,
Right?
they're not keeping up with it. The smell things weren't working.
Oh my god,
which is I think my favorite part of that ride.
Yeah, that's cool.
Sad.
That's sad.
Yeah, so I think that one is going to get replaced
Yeah.
maybe by a Legend of the Lion King 2 or something like that.
Mhm.
Maybe a little reboot of that. Probably not.
Probably not.
But I definitely miss the Legend of the Lion King. I have vivid memories of that as a kid. That was a cool one.
All right, and for your final one before the honorable mentions.
This one is definitely a Disney person favorite. The Main Street Electric Parade. For those of you that don't know, they actually brought it back this summer at Disneyland. If you want to go check that out before it's over, you can go see that. It ends at the end of this month. But the Main Street Electric Parade, I remember that vividly, sitting on the streets at Magic Kingdom and watching all the big, huge, floats go by, and you had all the actors dancing around.
Yep.
Kids crying who couldn't see, parents getting mad at the people with kids on their shoulder.
Classic.
All those memories. I loved all that. It was just really cool to see the floats.
Also a great time to ride rides. Just to throw
the best
that in
time to
there.
ride
Yeah.
rides. Between that and people watching fireworks, that was a great time to go watch rides. If you were a more, for lack of a better term, a more seasoned Disney vet, that's when you would go ride rides.
Especially with the little kids.
My biggest complaint about this is they just didn't replace it.
Yeah.
There's no replacement for the
weird
Electric
to
Parade,
me.
and they haven't really talked about replacing it, which I think is weird. They usually do replace.
Maybe it was a money pit for them.
I'm sure it was. I mean, if you remember the floats, they were very ornate.
And I'm sure every day one of them broke.
I mean, whether it was the Mobley they're riding on, lights going out.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were expensive, but I don't think Disney's hurting for money either.
But obviously they're penny pinching, so I'm sure they were trying to.
That was like a
yank
big.
it.
That was. I mean, it's up for argument, but I'd say that was a funner to watch than fireworks back then. I mean, now that you have Happily Ever After is
the best show.
it's incredible.
Yeah.
But Main Street Electric Parade, I'd rather watch that than the old fireworks show for sure.
I can agree with that. So kind of now onto our honorable mentions here.
Just a caveat with some of these. A lot of these, well, not a lot of these, but a few of these are actually still running in Disneyland. If you want to check them out, they're just not.
Yeah, they're not. We're talking Disney World.
Yeah,
we're usually specifically talking Disney World here.
90%
in this
of the time
podcast.
we're talking about Walt Disney World. But anyway.
So I'm gonna block these two together since they were there for opening day. Both. So Snow White, Scary Adventure, and Mr. Toad's Wild Ride were both there. Both open for 1971.
Neither of us have ridden Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
No, that closed in '98.
Right.
Let's talk about that one specifically for a little bit.
If you bring up this topic in like a Disney group, that is the ride people are going to say that they missed the most.
Yeah,
I don't know why, because I've seen
think
videos
it's got to be the age demographic of.
I think just like everything else, it's nostalgia. People just have memories about it.
Like we were talking about it a couple of days ago that it's like we have a Six Flags around here, and it's very similar to their little haunted shooting game. Dark ride.
All those rides are very similar. I think for sure back then that was probably the first one that was like
1970s. I'm sure that was like that was very, very cool. You had, I get it. I get the whole it was cool. You had characters. You had like the neon lights, but there wasn't any animatronics as far as I know.
I think some boxes moved and stuff like
Well,
that.
there was no like character animatronics.
Right.
I don't think.
I don't think so either. I mean, Disney people, I think more than anyone else, are very nostalgic. They don't want things changing. So I think that has a lot to do with
that's a huge problem.
I don't think it's a problem at all. I'm the same way.
Okay, well, so am I. But I think a lot of people have I think Disney people specifically have a problem with things.
Well, that's
changing.
because Disney's supposed to be about history and nostalgia,
right?
making
But
memories.
you gotta make new history, right?
Yeah. You make new memories on the same rides. That's how that goes. I mean, or you keep the same old rides and you make new lands and you make new rides.
Okay,
with your 44 acres.
yeah.
But anyway.
Yes. So
Snow White Scary Adventure, I did get to ride that, and I remember being scared.
Yeah, I never rode that
until I was like 15. That ride always scared me.
So if I remember correctly is I never rode it, but I walked by it. That Maleficent was in the window.
Yeah, you brought that up, and we looked it up, and she was there. I don't know why, but that's a nice little tidbit. That's pretty cool.
It's weird. I don't know. Weird.
Disney always does little stuff like that.
Yeah, it was cool though.
But I remember vividly being scared of this ride. I mean, my parents didn't let us ride it until we were like, I don't know, 10, 12. And even then, I was scared of it. And I'm glad they got rid of it, honestly. I mean, I don't. The Winnie the Pooh ride's not my favorite either. But
I love Winnie the Pooh.
I like it better than
I'm a huge Winnie the Pooh guy. I definitely.
You think it's an upgrade?
Tenfold.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree.
I love it.
And I don't think you're gonna get many arguments about that either. I mean,
no. I mean, not. We were talking about how Snow White wasn't even in it.
Well, yeah. So before '94, Snow White was never actually in the ride. There was 6 dwarfs, and that was really it. And it was just super, super scary back then. And then they
That's
redid
some
it.
like classic Disney thing to do.
Yeah,
though.
they
it's
updated
so weird
it.
the way they do things.
They put her in and everything, but it was still.
And they probably
very
lightened the mood. I'm sure.
Yeah, it was way less scary when they redid it. Snow White was in it.
I'm sure they were like, "We need to change this. This is terrible."
People were scared. Adults were scared. But yeah, not my favorite. But if you do want to ride either of those rides, they are both still in Disneyland, so you can check those out if you want.
They have a lot of the old rides.
They do,
which is cool. That's one.
Disneyland is very nostalgic.
Yeah.
Disney World just follows suit. I digress. So for the last one for our honorable mentions here is Mickey's Hand Over Spaceship Earth. For those of you that remember that was 2007 for a big celebration they're having at Epcot. But I mean, it wasn't anything big. It was just a hand with a wand over Spaceship Earth.
I thought it was pretty cool though.
It was cool. I mean, when I think of Spaceship Earth, I remember with the hand and the wand over.
Yeah, I don't. I went once or twice between. I was born 2000, so between 2000 and 2006, I don't remember that.
I mean, that's just one of those things, like another kind of like Jensen's hat. Like if you're gonna build something that big and that ornate, why take it?
But
down?
I will say that the hat looked a lot more that it should be permanent than that did.
Well, I mean,
that just looked kind of like it was just duct taped to the side, and they said, "That looks good."
It didn't look duct taped, but Epcot still has their centerpiece. But I just thought it looked cooler with the.
It did look really cool.
It was more Disney-y.
Yeah, they definitely Disneyfied it for sure.
Yeah, it added a little quote unquote magic to it.
Yes, I agree, 100%.
I think it's missing now.
Not trying to rag on it, but I think that's probably why it's gone. Is that it didn't seem permanent, so that's why it wasn't.
Well, it also doesn't really fit into what Epcot is.
No, definitely not.
All about. But yeah, that's just another good little honorable mention that I remember from my childhood that's no longer there. And with that being said, that's the last one we have on our list here for things we miss at Walt Disney World. So thank you for tuning in. Again, I know you've heard this, 4 times already, but we are working on getting the live chat going.
Yes, yep.
So stay tuned for that. And, if you have any comments you'd like to get a hold
any
of us.
way you want to get a hold of us, either it's through Instagram, email, Facebook, do it, please.
All those links
YouTube,
will be
the comment section.
All those links will be down in the description if you want to check those out.
Yeah, so for listeners, we're going to set something else up on our Spotify bio so you can I don't know if it's clickable or not, but at least you can find out the names. But
there'll be some way to contact us.
Yes.
And if you're listening on YouTube, just like the video, subscribe. It helps us out greatly. If you're on Spotify or iTunes, please give us a 5-star review because, again, that helps out greatly. If you're getting anything out of these podcasts, I think they're entertaining, you're getting information out of them, give us a like, give us
anything,
a good review.
Feedback, anything. Even if you don't like it, we'd like to know.
Yeah.
We want to know anything you feel.
It all helps us out. We're still kind of new at this, so we're trying to figure everything out. But any feedback you give us, any reviews, any likes, it all helps us out greatly. So again, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.